Welcome to another episode of The Vegan Hungarian. Today we are heading south of the U.S. border into Mexico and to make one of my favorite soups, Albondigas, or meatball soup. So this one was pretty easy to veganize. I just used a plant-based meat. This happens to be Beyond Meat because that's what was on sale at the store when I was there planning this episode. And so we're going to begin by adding our spices to the meat. And as usual, the recipe is in the description. So I have some garlic powder, some Chipotle chili powder, some Mexican oregano or oregano, and some cumin, and some cilantro. Now, if you don't like the cilantro, that's fine. You can leave it out, no harm. And actually, to some people, cilantro tastes like soap. And that's due to genetics. There is a genetic SNP called OR26A, which, if you have that SNP, cilantro tastes horrible to you. So you can leave it out if you happen to be one of those people. I'm just mixing this up real good. Oh, and if you can't get Mexican oregano, the best substitute is marjoram. Mexican oregano is actually part of the Verbenan family, whereas the Mediterranean oregano is part of the mint family, which you will know if you've ever tried to plant oregano, and it will just take over your garden just like mint does. Okay, so we're going to form these into small balls, maybe somewhere between a half an ounce to an ounce. So you should get around 25 meatballs. It's interesting how this recipe came about. I was reading a murder mystery, what they call cozies, and the main character, she was a cook or a chef. I don't remember the series, I don't remember the book, I just remember the recipe. Anyway, she was making this soup, and she just had a list of ingredients there, nothing really proportions or times or cooking or anything. And I looked at those ingredients and said, I bet I could duplicate a soup like that. So over the years, I worked with it and refined it and came up with my own recipe. All right. Let's see. And over here next to me, I got my vegetarian broth. I got it heating up. I want to get that going to like a nice low simmer temperature. Looks like it's almost there. Okay, our broth is just about where I want it, so I'm just going to start dropping the meatballs in gently. Okay, bring that back up to a simmer, and then we're going to add the veggies to it. Here I got my chopped celery, onions, I had a cabbage. I happen to use purple cabbage because I had some left in the refrigerator, but you can use regular cabbage if you wish. Can of diced tomatoes, a couple small cans of green chilies because I can't find fresh chilies in our local stores. A small zucchini chopped up. And at the end, we're going to add some more cilantro if you like. Okay, looks like it's kind of coming up to a simmer, so I'm just going to go ahead and add the vegetables in there. And yes, it will cook down some. Don't worry. Okay, I'm going to cover that and let it cook until it's done, somewhere between 20 and 40 minutes, depending on your temperature. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes. Let's see how these are doing over here. Yeah, that's kind of the cooking we want. Give it a little stir here. Mix up the veggies a little bit. Meatballs coming to the top. Veggies are a tiny bit harder. Maybe another 10 minutes and this will be done. See you in a bit. And okay, it's been about 20 or 25 minutes. I turned the heat down a little bit. It was cooking a little bit too hard. Give this a stir. Give it a taste. Needs a bit of salt. When you're working with these plant-based meats, it's best to wait to the end to add any salt. Sometimes the meats themselves contain salt or other spices, and it's just best to wait. And they do change the recipes from time to time, so you don't know if there's, you have to read the ingredients to see if there's salt in there. I'm going to go ahead and add the cilantro. Give that a stir. And now it's ready to serve.